I've wasted a lot of time these past 2 weeks where it started off with me thinking I'd gone to a point in my self improvement where I could afford to be a bit complacent, where I'd been consistent, driven, working towards my goals for most of this year. Why didn't I take a step back and try something new for like novelty's sake? I listened to that voice. I sat down and started watching self improvement content. Right? It's been a while since I did that sort of thing. I thought, hey, I'll learn something new. I'll put in the effort to up my knowledge, and then I'll apply that to my life. It sounds good on the surface, right? What actually ended up happening though was instead of me applying that, it just became, I started consuming to the point where I thought, hey, I'm just gonna watch and watch and watch. I'm gonna learn even more and taking action. That stuff could wait for whatever. Like I have an infinite amount of time to do so. My dreams, my goals, my aspirations, that stuff can wait for a bit. And it came to a point where my productivity started to decline. I started feeling a bit tense within my mind at almost all periods of the day. I didn't feel that driven to do anything, and going outside became a little bit uncomfortable for me. It came to a breaking point yesterday when I was recording this video called I Fell Off Self Improvement. And it was basically just me talking about how these past 2 weeks of consuming content, of doing nothing but trying to learn more for the sake of improving my life, it was just ruining me. Me pushing off the part of actually doing the difficult things, of facing my fears, working towards my goals, thinking that I had the time to pursue it later. It was just a big trap. My mind felt wired up. My productivity fell off. It was hard to even show up to do any work. I felt like a slave to my devices. And as a result, I felt unhappy as hell. Right? The discipline was gone, the time was being wasted. It made me realize the idea that I have a lot of time ahead of me, that my dreams and goals and aspirations will wait for me, it wasn't true. I don't have time to waste. And if I actually want to achieve my goals, it's not just going to happen out of thin air. I would actually have to get out and do it. Because I have goals, I have dreams, I have aspirations. I know you do as well. And there's this thing that David Goggins says, all your stuff, all your dreams, they have drop dead times. Where you don't know when in the future, but there is an expiration date for everything. Whether you want to be an athlete, whether you want to be, I don't know, whatever you want to do, right? There is an expiration date to change, to become a better person, to do the things you really want to do with your life. And waiting and wasting time with the intention of thinking that one day things will be different, one day I can get after it and actually change my life for the better. It's a lie, it's a myth. Things aren't going to get done unless you actually choose to do them. Yet, so many people forget about this reality, as I did, right? For these past 2 weeks, I completely forgot about that. I treated life like I had an infinite amount of it left to me. And what happened? I felt unhappy. I fell into habits that weren't conducive to my overall well being. Felt terrible, right? But I can see this played out with so many people, even on the bus or the train, where people aren't fit, people aren't happy, people are glued to their phones and they don't talk to anyone else. This isn't a judgment of their character. I don't know who they are. I don't want to say that they're different human beings or worse than me or I'm better than them. What I mean to say is, it's the mentality that you can see present within them of thinking that, hey, I can just consume more content. Like, I have time later. I don't need to do anything right now. Pleasure is more important, right? Life is short. Why do the difficult things? And then I would pose the question back to you. Why? Life is short. Why not be fulfilled and happy within it? Because avoiding your dreams, avoiding your goals, putting it off to a later date, getting caught up in your mind and thinking that, hey, it's nice to be comfortable right now, right? I don't really want to go outside, talk to new people. I don't want to face my fears. I don't want to do some new stuff. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to change, right? Because I didn't. I felt like I just hit a pause. I hit a plateau these past 2 weeks where nothing really improved in my life, where the days kept going by faster and faster. The sense of fear kind of crept into my chest. One night I was just lying down looking at the ceiling. I felt the idea of death. The concept that one day all of this is going to be over. One day I'm not going to be here anymore. And so my time is limited. It's the most precious resource that I have. Why was I choosing to waste it? Why was I choosing to let this time slip through my fingers in the time where it's the most important to me? I'm on a gap year. Next year, I'm forced to go to university, something that I don't particularly want to do. So, if I want to change my life, if I want to escape that sort of judgment passed upon me, it comes down to me taking action right here, right now. Right? I have dreams. They aren't going to get done unless I do them. I learned this when I started cleaning my house. I wanted a clean house. I wanted to live in a place where I could feel good about myself. But for the longest time, I just blamed everybody else in my family. Just said, hey, that's your mess. Why don't you clean it up? You're so nasty. You're so dirty. Instead of taking the responsibility, realize you don't have time to waste. Why wait? Why waste all this energy, this thought of thinking that you can do it later, that somebody else will do it for you? You are on your own, and that sounds harsh, but it's also a bit of liberating. Like, that's liberating if you think about it. Yeah, we don't have an infinite amount of time left to us, but we have the choice to determine how that is used. Because everybody has 24 hours in a day. Everybody is given the same amount of time, the same clock to operate upon. Some people end up making more of it than others. Wow, like how? Because they're committed to working towards what's essential in their life, what truly matters to them, right? Do you want to be the person who one day feels like they can look back and think, yo, I achieved my potential? Or do you want to be on the other side of the coin thinking that, wow, my life was pretty empty. I just pursued endless pleasure, endless idealism, like hedonism, whatever, and thought that you could do it later until one day, like, your life is over. Maybe I didn't articulate this as well as I would like, but I'll give you an example. Look at Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. That guy had an insane work ethic. He worked hard. He worked his ass off, right? There were times where you do a 2 hour workout session, then you do something else for 2 hours, and you'd hop back into the workout 2 hours later. They do it again and again and again throughout the entire day. Like, that was insane to me when I first read that. But by the end of his career, he's revered as one of the greatest basketball players ever. He showed that. He worked hard for it. And by the end, I don't think he would have regretted anything that he put into the game. Because he achieved his potential. He put in every ounce of effort, grit, sweat, blood, tears to become that person he was capable of becoming. Imagine if that was you or me. Imagine if we could look back too and think, yo, I've lived at my highest potential self. I've lived a life worth living. I have been that sort of person who faced his fears, who did this sort of thing, and can look back with a sense of pride. Wouldn't that be awesome? Right? It comes about with you realizing, like, you have a precious amount of time available to you. You are alive. That's crazy, right? It comes down to you making the most of that time to become the person you truly want to become. That's all that is, right? Don't overthink it. Don't get in your head and tell yourself, oh, I can cut corners. I can wait and do it another day. When you achieve the goals, when you are the person you want to be, then maybe take a break. But until then, don't give up. Be relentless. Stay committed. Stay obsessed. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, consider subscribing. Besides that, peace!